good, everyone? So in today's video, got a very special mindset trick that every entrepreneur should be using. Basically, every single month you should be doing this. So I see no reason to wait. Let's just get straight into it. And if you're serious and you don't know who I am, my name is Matt, and I help entrepreneurs pack out their calendar every single month for their coaching and consulting business. Recently, one of my students, Paris, booked in 3 calls in 1 day. And it hasn't even been 21 days since we started working with each other. Okay, so that's the proof. If you want to get those sort of results, or if you just want to pack out your calendar, link in the description below to book in a call and chat with me one-on-one. See how you can do that. This is going to be a pretty special exercise, so I'm going to start recording. It's called the 80-20 Supercomputer Exercise. So this is not mine. I want to make this very clear. This is not mine. This is coined by someone called Arlen Moore, mentor, and pretty much you should go check out his content. It's amazing. So this is called the 80-20 Supercomputer Exercise. I want to preface this by saying a lot of you, actually, no, you're probably doing too much. Let me explain. If you've heard of the 80-20 rule, you'll know that it goes like 20% of the results come from 20% of actions lead to 80% of the results, or 20% of inputs lead to 80% of outputs. In English, it only takes a few things that need to be mastered and done in order to get the results that you actually want. Let's say you had an exam coming up. Let's be real here. Maybe only 10 to 20% of or 20 to 30% of the syllabus is what you actually really need to learn, and you will still be able to pass that exam. Like, think about it. The majority of this exam is going to be comprised of the same few things that are important and need to be learned. So chances are you don't need to learn the whole syllabus. You don't need to learn all the material. Okay, that's an example. Another example is in fitness. So only really takes 3 things to get the dream body and physique that you want and health that you want. Train well, eat well, and sleep well or recover well. Only those 3 things, and yet a lot of people out there, they like coming up with these fad diets, these fad exercise routines, and end up overcomplicating it, not just for them but for other people, and then they end up being confused, paranoid, stressed, a lot of energy wasted, and not much results coming out of it. And that's just the world we live in today. We like to, and our brains like to overcomplicate things and do more things that we actually think we need to do because it makes us feel productive. Now this exercise is going to debunk that. It's going to fix that once and for all. So make sure you're paying attention. The 80-20 Supercomputer Exercise. The first thing what you want to do is, we'll make this clear again. This is not mine. This is by Arlen Moore. So go check out his channel. Money. These are more or less the areas of life of everyone. You get money. So how much do I want to make? Work and success. What do I do and at what level? Social life / relationships. So who do I surround myself with? How good are these relationships? Health. So how do I want to look and feel? And non-negotiable, so what has to be done every single day, put it simply. The first step is to define. So we will take this and I'll carve out a little example. Let's do this in real time. So money, let's say you're doing something similar to me. You want to run an online business, let's say a marketing agency. Okay, cool. And how much do you want to make from that agency? Okay, 10K a month. 10K a month with your agency. Work and success, social media marketing agency, or SMMA for short. And at what level? And performing at a high level. Jeez. Now, as you know, life is not just about work and money and success and business. It's also about social life and relationships and who you surround yourself with. So who do you want to surround yourself with? Okay, other entrepreneurs, maybe other people doing marketing agencies. Maybe not just those people. Maybe you want to start hanging out with celebrities or content creators, photographers, whoever you want to hang out with, just put it here, etc. High value people, anyone on a mission. put it simply. Okay, your health. How do you want to look and feel? Well, so you want to be chiseled. Maybe you have a certain weight range in mind. Maybe it's certain amount of body fat. Maybe you want to end up at 12% body fat. Chiseled, 20% body fat, full of energy, turns heads, great mood, 24/7. And then the non-negotiables. So what would you need to be doing every single day? Okay, let's say my non-negotiables wanted to be 10 minutes of meditation every single day. Let's say you don't want to consume alcohol or drugs or weed. Let's say you want to get some sun every day, or go outside every single day, which you should. I don't know why you're not doing that. And just list out your next non-negotiables. Maybe it's a certain amount of outreach per day, maybe 30 new DMs every single day. Define each of these areas, which is what we've done. And then what you want to ask yourself is, what's the path I'd normally take? And some of you might already know, because this is what you're doing and you've already predefined what your goals are for each area of life, provided you want success. So let's look at it. What's the path you'd normally take? 10K a month, okay. And I'm not saying this is going to be for everyone. Maybe you have your own path, and that's completely fine. So I'm just going off of blanket answers here. So 10K a month, let's say 30 DMs or emails. Yeah, DMs. 30 DMs, post content on, let's say you're doing Facebook every single day. Maybe having conversations and booking calls. So you have a couple clients already, get client results, and obviously sales as well. So close clients at 20%. I actually think this should be moved to here. Work and success, that's more relevant to this. Yeah, that's more relevant. With money, okay, you could maybe put it slightly differently. Let's say you're making 7K a month through the agency, and then the rest through investments. So 3K investments. Social life and relationships. What's the path you normally take to get this? Okay, maybe start going to, maybe reach out to people. Cold DM. Maybe go to more parties. Okay, introduce yourself. Nurture these relationships, so you don't just say hi and then they're not friends anymore and you don't really know them. You have to keep nurturing relationships, So let's say that's the path you normally take. Health, pretty simple. Gym, let's say your path was gym 5 times a week. Count calories, maybe spend an hour. Count calories, restrict. Wow, it's raining. Maybe sleep or do some active recovery on off days. Maybe, I don't know, eat salads. Get good sleep. Lastly, non-negotiables. Well, we don't really need to go into that because you know what you need to do. So it's 10 minutes of meditation, all this stuff. So now you've asked, what is the path you normally take? Write that down. Let me say something to you. 99.9% of the time, the path you normally take is not the right path. And what I mean by right path, what's defined as the right path, is something that will be enjoyable, gets you there in as fast of a time as possible, or as effective as possible, or with least amount of effort exerted as possible. That is the basis of the 80-20 rule. So what you've written down here, chances are, is actually not the way to go. Now, don't be thrown off by that. It's completely fine, but you just need to come to terms with that. This is probably not the way you should be going. So step number 2 is to amplify. This is all going to line up very quickly. So step number 2 is to amplify. I don't know why I copied that. How can I unreasonably demand 10 times more? So let us copy this. This is how you unreasonably define for 10. This is how you unreasonably demand 10 times more. So for example, it's very simple. Let's make this 2 and 3. Amplify and simplify. 10k a month times 10 is 100k a month. So now you're going to be shooting for 100k a month. Work in success, SMMA and performing at a high level, so there's just no number there, but if we 10x that, if we ask for 10x more, let's put it as social media marketing agency, successful, no, more than successful, world-class social media marketing agency, performing at the top 1%. Yeah, performing at the top 1%, that's more like it. Social life and relationships, so other entrepreneurs, marketing agency owners, yada. Okay, that's cool, that's cute. Anyone on a mission? Now let's 10x that. Heavy hitters. In their trade skill, or trade or skill, 7, 8, 9 figure earners, high value network spread across different continents, close AF relationships with these people. So it's not just shallow stuff. That's more like it. That's 10x. You just 10x your social life and relationships. Health. Okay, chiseled, 12% body fat, full of energy. Okay, that's cool. That's 10x that. Rambo body can decimate anything in your path. Energy, never gets sick, always brimming with energy. People really notice this. Fantastic. Well, not fantastic. We already put that, so Rambo body. Non-negotiables. Okay, 100 minutes of meditation. Well, obviously no alcohol or weed. I don't know how you can 10x that. Maybe get sun. As much sun and nature as possible. 300 new DMs. Cool. Now you've 10x'd what you wanted. You basically demanded 10x more. And then the last step is simplify. How can I make this path easier for me? So remember what I said earlier about the path that you normally wrote out would not be the path that you should take, because it is not going to get you to where you want to be with as least effort as possible, or with maximum efficiency, with less time and less enjoyment. How can I make this path easier for me? Let's simplify this. Bear with me for a second. So how can we make getting to 100K every single month consistently? How can we get there in as least time as possible, with as much enjoyment as possible, but with as least effort as possible? Basically 80-20 our way through 100K a month. Okay, you got to think about outside of the box for this. You really have to. This is not an easy exercise by any means, and it shouldn't be, because this should be, you should be carving out a couple hours doing this, or a couple minutes. 100K a month consistently, 80-20 our way into that. Okay, maybe we could befriend people already doing maybe 100K a month and up. Why? Because environment is a huge factor. You are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. You know that, everyone's heard that. So if you surround yourself with people who are already doing the type of money you want to be making, then it's only basically time has yet to catch up. You're basically already getting to that 100K a month because you surrounded yourself with those type of people. So befriend people. Let's say I don't want to make this too long, so I'm just going to speed through this, and don't do what I'm doing, just speeding through this. Really take the time to think about it and think outside the box. How can we get there as quickly as possible? Investments, as we said. The reason I put investments is because it's not, you shouldn't rely on it for cash flow, but what it's going to do is it's going to be very good for wealth preservation, and wealth preservation is going to be important getting to that 100K a month. So investments, and one cash flow machine, aka business. So SMMA. The reason I put one, I stress one and not like 5 or many different ones, is because, again, simplify. One is all you need. Take one and scale it to the moon. Work in success, world-class SMMA. Okay, let's go into the SMMA a bit more. So even for some people, 30 DMs might be a lot, and posting content on Facebook daily is going to be a lot. And at the end of the day, it still might not even get you to where you want to be. So how can we get there? How can we 10x the result while simplifying the whole thing and making it easier on us? Okay, join masterminds, or pay to get into masterminds with people who are already where you want to be. Again, goes to through that environment principle. If you want to perform at the top 1%, then in other areas of life you need to be performing at 1%. So optimize other areas of life, which is exactly what we're doing. DMs. So we're actually thinking outside the box here. We haven't even talked about like outreach or sales yet. So, well, obviously invest in your skills. Find a way. Actually, no, we'll save that for later. So something like that. Again, this is not perfect because I'm trying to get through this as quickly as possible. I don't want to make this too long. Social life, heavy hitters in their trader skill. Okay, how do we get there? This one's quite simple, because I remember the answer that Arlen gave, which was like, why don't you just hang out in places where these people are likely to be? So it could be 5-star restaurants, hotels, nightclubs, farmers markets, people who care about their health, parties, they're likely to be there. And then you befriend these people, offer value. Another thing as well, Instagram or social media, optimize your social media profile. Because whether you like it or not, Instagram is now the modern day resume. People really do judge the way you are. Even as shallow as it sounds, people really do judge who you are based on your Instagram or your social media. Why don't you grow it as well? Grow it, because A, adds that status, social proof, and these people are gonna be more likely to hit you up. But also, you're getting more eyeballs. You're getting more eyeballs on you. So naturally, that numbers game is gonna get you to get in front of these people more. So something like that. So you basically 10x what you wanted, and then now you're finding the simplest way to get there, or the most fun. Here, why don't you just go to the gym 3 times a week for 15 minutes? Or you don't even have to go to the gym. Maybe you do a home gym. That saves time. You don't have to travel to the gym. Home gym or home workout. Maybe find a trainer that's accomplished everything you just wrote down, and just pay them and get them to show you how to do it and hold you accountable. Maybe focus on the few foods that will lead to Rambo style body. And then sleep. Sleep is a very 80-20 thing to do here. As long as you get 7 to 9 hours of high quality sleep, you should be good. You will be good. Three times a week for 15 minutes, and instead of 5 times a week for an hour. Do you see where this is going now? And then lastly is non-negotiable. So how do we get in 100 minutes of meditation? Maybe get a meditation coach. Maybe instead of doing 100 minutes in one sitting, maybe you split it up. You chunk it across the day or the week. So maybe 10 minutes of meditation in 10 intervals. No alcohol or weed. Well, that's pretty simple. Just cut the substances out completely, and any person who has to do with these things, people who drink a lot of alcohol or smoke weed, just completely cut them out. If that's what you're aiming for, etc. Okay, let's take a look at this now. Before, what you would do, you were aiming for 10K a month, 7K a month through the agency, the rest were investments. You were aiming for all this stuff. This was your original path. And remember what we said, this is usually not the path to take. Let's look at it now. You getting to 100K a month consistently, so not just 1 month, it's happening over and over again. This is a completely different answer to what we just got in the first one. Why don't you just befriend people who are already doing 100K a month? Why don't you just, okay, fair enough, this is kind of similar to the last one, investments and one cash flow machine. So if we change this, actually, maybe let's say this person is screwing up, and then they got a copywriting gig on the side, which is making 3K a month. That's more different. Instead of focusing on 2, 3, 4 different, cash flow machines, just focus on one and scale it to the moon. Same thing here. Why don't you just join masterminds? Why don't you just surround yourself with people who are already where you want to be, and then let osmosis take place, let their skills and their behavior seep into your body and your brain, and then now you're going to act like them. Why don't you just optimize other areas of life instead of trying to put all this effort into business when your social life is really bad, your health is not on point, and everything else. You're fighting an uphill battle. Now you get the point. Now none of this is gonna work if you don't sit down and really do it. This is how I came up with my Instagram strategy. So let me just quickly close off this video with this, because I think it's gonna be useful by showing you some real life legit results I got from this exercise. Before, what I'd do is, so coaching business, doing, say, 5K a month, what I usually do before was a lot of work. It's like post on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube regularly. I'm trying to think my old strategy. It was like just DM a ton of people, DM 30 people a day. Most of it was outbound as well. What else? Come up with like 10 to 20 different content ideas. It was a total mess. Yeah, I can't remember, I'm afraid. But long story short, why don't we just simplify that? Why don't we just 10x that and then simplify it, simplify the path? And this is how I came up with my strategy. Why don't we just focus on one platform? Focus on Instagram. Why? Because I already had knowledge in Instagram. This was like my first successful business, like online business. Focus on Instagram. I'm still gonna keep YouTube. Oh yeah, YouTube was like every day. I remember doing that 30-day sprint, but YouTube I just taper it down to 3 times a week, as long as it doesn't sabotage my results. As long as I'm still putting out videos, people are gonna trust me. So post on Instagram. What's the most 80-20 way to grow on Instagram and get results? Reels. Focus on Reels. 1 to 3 times a day. Because with Reels, it's stupid how much reach you get, how much growth people get if you do it correctly. Instead of just posting photos only. Just focus on Reels. That's 80-20ing it. Okay, now, instead of having to outbound DM people, instead of DM people outbound and risking not getting a reply back because it's outbound, why don't I just get people to come to me and form my own audience and start inbound DMs? That way my reply rate is going to be higher. So starting inbound DMs, and then after that, just focus on booking 1 to 3 calls every single day, closing at 40%, and getting insane client results. Okay, so arguably I actually could have simplified that even more, but you get the point. And just do this at scale, get really good at these things, and then you're gonna get to 50K a month. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, and what you thought of this. I want you to implement this as well, or else it's not gonna work. And again, credit to Arden Moore for this exercise. So I'll see you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed it.